Welcome to our Become a Pro series where I take you on a journey to get all the skills you need to succeed in Call of Duty. And man, oh man, there's a ton to talk about. First and foremost, I want to explain that I am going to be training myself these tips and tricks. I have spent some time with the top players and I've helped create some strategies. I've helped experiment and test different things for many years now. I'm an old man, by the way. But with that said, I, much like you guys, if you're watching this video, probably don't practice and don't put in the amount of time and effort that these top pro champions actually put in daily. Okay, so you are about to watch somebody knowing the methods, having tested some of this and experimented and helped, work on these projects in private lobbies way back in the good old days. Now it being a part of the meta and it be part of the future. I want to make sure that you can do it as well. With that out of the way, there's a lot to talk about, but we're going to kind of keep it very short and simple. First and foremost, we're going to have plenty of movement, plenty of aim tips, and then also the main thing is how to be a better player. Okay. And so I have priorities, and this should be its own video, and I'll make one in the future, but this is kind of like the overview of what you can get from this channel, and I'll break it down. So first and foremost, act on information. What does that mean? Acting on information. Well, the game always has something. If you hear sounds, that's one part of information. If you see somebody, that's information. The mini map, when somebody's popping up on there, that is information. It could be that there's a UAV in your area. I mean, that's information. So you want to react to that and not have to just go on impulse. This is easier said than done because sometimes you just want to run out and end up in some fights. Unhealthy. You do not want to do. Okay. So with that in mind, the lessons I'm trying to teach is to act on information. Secondly, always have cover. Regardless of the information that I have, which I see 3 guys here, right? Let's just say I come out of this room. I need to stay behind this cover. I know that they're there. I want to stay within the cover. Guess what? The rest of these guys can't hit me. If I do what most players would do, I'll run out here. I'll get shot by all 3 guys. I'm not even. Instead, I'm picking one at a time, trying to take him out, staying in cover, playing with the cover. Now, he sees me poke, I shoot, we both shoot each other. It doesn't work out. This is where the third most important thing is understanding to reposition yourself. You want to back out, peek this way possibly. Boom, if you have to rotate all the way around just to give a different angle, because they will be holding theirs if they have a better one than you, especially since he has the high ground. This means his teammates can't shoot me. They would have to come towards me. And in this situation, I would back all the way out and find some cover and try to make it different. Okay? So that is another tip. Again, repositioning yourself. Secondly, let's just make believe I only have a pistol and I'm trying to take this guy from long range. It's not worth it. Or a shotgun or something. Like, let me go ahead and move around. I'm going to rotate and get into close position so I can hit him with the shotgun shots. Okay? So you want to be able to know your range is the main tip on that. Okay? And then rotation. It's not easy to do, and figuring out when and how to do that is a whole video in itself, which we'll get into another time. I wanted to talk about that first because that's going to be its own video, the priority of fighting and staying alive in your fights. Okay? Now, secondly, we're going to talk about aiming, and of course this will be its own video, but there's multiple ways to aim. People think when you're using your aim with a controller, for example, the right stick is the only way to aim. This is me aiming with the right stick, and that's fine. Okay, it's good, but The left stick also has aim, especially if you have the settings that I put on, which is either default or Black Ops for your settings. And you're gonna see in my settings video, I broke it down and tried to help people understand what I mean by that. Okay, there's a lot to get into when it comes to aiming, and I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole, but right here, aiming type. If you put it on default in Black Ops, you can use the left stick to help you with your aim assist. Then you have precision and focus, which is strictly for the right stick. So if you like to use a sniper, for example, you use precision and focus, because that's going to be for that right stick only movement. But for players who are on the move, and most of us are, left stick movement is important. And they call that rotation aim assist, right? And there's many words for it, but we call it rotation aim assist. Basically what that means is, you ever seen somebody swaying while they shoot? That's because that's going to help with the aim assist. And this is in many games, and Call of Duty has it as well. And so you want to do this consistently. Now, do you want to do it the way I'm doing it? No, you'll probably get shot. Some players will just flick back and forth. You see me, this is my left stick only, and that's going to give me some aim assist with my right stick helping staying on track as well. That is important. And you're going to see this, and we'll do a video just on that, because there's a lot of science behind me, what I'm saying. Very important. So that is something critical to practice, strafing, and you want to do it in a small fashion if you can, to get that, still have that movement while you're standing still somewhat. You can try to do the strafe here, this way, but sometimes it's easier to track you that way, depending on the player. And your job is to eliminate them. So I'm not going to shoot this guy right now because I want to save the targets, but you want to be able to eliminate them, okay? And so you're going to get more aim assist with that if you're using a controller, okay? Left stick. Now, there's another mechanic that you probably see a lot of top players do, and it's something we abused back in the original Call of Duties when it was overpowered. They nerfed it a little bit, but it's still extremely viable when you see top players doing this. These are habits and routines that is very hard to keep. All right, most of us just play casually. We don't care, myself included. I'm not out here sweating, but when you see a top player, they seem to be doing this a lot. Okay, why is he aiming down sight on and off? What is this? What does that mean? Well, they call it a lot of things. You know, I'll call it the In-N-Out burgers, joking around, but it's called jitter aim. And basically, what you got to know is that if I focus in on this guy and I just keep my gun there, you're going to see the weapon sway consistently. And it just gets worse over time. You don't want that swaying. That's not drift. That's just a natural sway if you're aiming down sight. But when I pop like this, I will stay in the same spot every single time for the most part. And so that's why top players will end up shooting, and they'll just go in and out because they're able to get the consistency of the aim. And that's a simple thing, but the question is, in the middle of a fight, are you going to be doing this even though you're not used to it? No, myself included. So these are habits I have to break. And you know, I recorded multiple videos in one day. The settings video, which you can go check out, my first real loadout video, and this one plus two more, all a couple days ago, to break down what I feel is best. Okay, so now jitter aim, something you need to practice, is going to perform better. Okay, so jitter aiming while left stick strafing, it's a lot. And then you're going to be shooting, and then you might have to dodge and do a lot of other movements. We're going to get into the movements a little. Again, these are all separate videos that I have. I'm just putting it all in one for an overall view so you can understand. All right, slide cancel. You see this right here? Slide. Beautiful, right? I can slide all the way through. The reason they call it cancel is because you're literally canceling. There's multiple ways to do it now. And players have different fancy ways to do it. You can easily just slide and then jump. It's going to slide cancel, okay? And there's slide, which is also going to slide cancel, okay? The main point is the reason why you're slide canceling. Two reasons. One is for survival. I'm harder to hit if I'm moving, trying to get across here with all these guys shooting at me. I'm harder to hit. Hitbox is smaller, and I'm throwing them off. And that's a whole nother video to break down just on what that does to the net code and all this other stuff. But that's one. Secondly, while I'm running, it takes way longer to aim. Okay, it takes way longer to aim while I'm running. So slide canceling actually allows you to aim faster. So if you do this, I'm already aiming. Okay, so big difference is I'm already aiming the moment I slide cancel. Okay, and I can slide cancel, jump. There's a lot of ways to go after the slide. Like I said, slide cancel, jump, aim, shoot. Sounds like a lot, right? Slide, then jump to cancel it while you hit aim, and then shoot. Okay, instead of running and then shooting, it's gonna take a lot for it to all happen. You're gonna run, slide, jump, shoot, and it's a lot faster. And I can do it even faster. I'm still practicing again to get back into the old mode of the way I used to play. And so that mechanic has been around for a very long time, and it's just improved in different ways because they've changed it drastically. And so, of course, you want the settings to that on how I got mine set up, which is the pro player style format. You can do that and get better from there. So that's number one on the list as far as movement goes. You want to be able to move properly and survive longer. So basically, anytime you're moving, don't even walk anymore unless you're in a situation where you have to. But at the end of the day, just slide cancel pretty much everywhere you go. It's going to help you survive, and in your fights you're going to do better. I just took out one of the targets. So again, this isn't the full guide for each of these. This is going to be a longer video than normal if I did go through, break them all the way down. But then there's certain movement things that are very simple. Okay, and when you're sliding out, there's a bunch of stuff to do, which the main thing to do is as you cancel, you want to hit aim, because your aim is going to be a lot faster than the normal. Okay, slide, boom, and I can shoot right there just like that. Slide, jump, shoot, instead of having all this extra stuff. And the reason why that's important is because there's things you can do even just dropping right after. Slide, drop, boom. In the middle of the fight, it's called drop shots, which is we see each other, I just completely drop while I'm shooting. Okay, I'm not going to shoot that guy, but for example, let's say I turn around, there's a guy here, I'm shooting the whole time as I drop, getting him, trying to finish him off. Okay, and that takes practice to do it perfectly. It's an old school move. It's still viable and necessary. Now, jump shots, you see a lot of guys jump out and then do the drop shots. All right, so we call them the jump shots, but it's another classic from Call of Duty where you go like that and then you hit them with a shot. If you get better with that, you're gonna do it properly. You don't want to just jump and then shoot because the aim isn't that great. It takes a lot of ADS time. Okay, and ADS is what you're trying to limit. That's why you're doing slide cancels and things like that. So jump, slide cancel, and then shoot. Okay, all in one combo, and you gotta do it faster than me because I'm still getting back into the flow of things. All right, and so there's plenty, and I mean plenty of these type of movements that you can get together. So we're gonna put this all together and just have the discussion about it. Okay, first and foremost are priorities. I call them 5 steps. You can call them whatever amount you want, but basically act on information. Basically everything's about information. Rings closing, if you're playing PvP, you're hearing shots, you know where they are, right over here. Okay, so I'm gonna act on that. I'm gonna stay behind cover is my second priority. Always have some type of cover. I'm not gonna just get out in the open and get shot. Okay, so holding cover while you fight at all times, basically always having cover. Now if I need to re-rotate, like I can't take this angle over there, which I want, I'm gonna go around, and that right there is called reposition, and you want to do it often. There's a bunch of movement techniques on things like, for example, acting like you're gonna dodge, run, and then come back, which we're going to practice that later in another video. But that's what you want to do, reposition. Because maybe you have a shotgun. You can't shoot from this far and take someone out. So you got to move up in a different way and take advantage in that way, okay? So last but not least, rotation, okay? Rotation is different from repositioning. Positioning and repositioning is one thing, and then rotation is being able to get to where you need to go. So I want to hold the higher ground, I want to get up top, or I want to do this or that. I have to be able to know how to rotate. And there's videos for Battle Royale and stuff that I already have ready for you guys. Go check those out as well. Then we talked about the jitter aim, okay? When you're shooting, the weapon will naturally start swaying on top of the recoil. You have a lot of stuff against you. So what a lot of pro players do is they'll be practicing aiming in and out to keep their stability for their aim. And it's going to help with aim assist as well, okay? Then you have your left stick movement while you're shooting in order to activate aim assist, okay? That's going to be critical. A little back and forth very quickly like this. You can see my very small left and right movement. And then still tracking the enemies. Very critical. All right. And then you have, of course, the slide cancels. There's a lot of movement techniques that you can do, but the point of slide cancel is to survive more, to be harder to hit, but also hope you're aiming down sight, because now there's a lot of mechanics that stop you when you go to jump. When you're running, your aim down sight will take longer. Okay, so you want to figure that out. Okay, and there's a bunch of techniques that we'll get into in the future. But that is the general guide. I wanted to just give you guys the format when it comes to how to win more fights in Call of Duty. And this works for every game mode. These tips are for every game mode. So know that you can't be defeated like the screen, and you will win a lot more over and over and over if you follow those tips and tricks. Okay, that's what I got for you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This was how to be a pro. Again, I take all my information from the pros. I've worked with them and been in private lobbies helping test things, and it's been a long journey from gaming, and really love to get into it now that I'm getting back into Call of Duty. I'm gonna definitely give them a call at some point, but also show anybody and everybody all the information I can about this stuff. So lock in for more. Go check out the next video that's popping up right now.